Welcome back to the Mikey Mike Show News and Entertainment. It's me, Michael B. Wiley. Before we get started, fam, I need you to hit that like button, smash the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified every time I drop the video. It really helps me move along in the algorithm. I create this content for you guys to like, and if you don't like it, dislike it so you can move me along in the algorithm. Now, let's get into it. Derrick Jaxn goes on the Dear Future Wifey podcast and explains why him and his wife, the Jaxn marriage, has ended. Now, before we get started, let's watch this clip.
Well, we kind of have this bro code, and it's got us in the chokehold. You know, and the bro code is all about having a man's side no matter what. Yeah. No matter if we wrong or what have you. And I think personally it's created a generation of coddled men that can't take correction from anybody, no matter how soft it is or balanced it is. Right. But whenever you're telling a truth that makes people uncomfortable or a truth that's not popular, they're going to look for a way to attack you either way it go.
How did she ever find out when you first cheated on her?
Well, we were both triggering each other and didn't know it. Right. I was triggering her with my affection. She was triggering me by pushing away. But it was 2018. This is when I got the haircut by the girl that I used to deal with whenever we were single.
First of all, y'all got married what year, 2019?
Beginning of 2018.
Y'all got married beginning of 2018.
January 13th.
So that means the end of 2018, that's when you cheated.
Yep, for the first time.
And then 2019 came around.
2019, it's like, oh, get back on track. Just, bygones, forget about it. Never happened.
How did it feel? She said one day she called you out, and this was early on before y'all got married. She said, do you even believe the stuff that you say?
I felt like I understood what she was saying, but I was like, why is this the first time you referencing my career? Because, okay, I didn't just talk about don't cheat. A lot of my stuff was about, leave thoughtful gifts, write poems, write love letters, let her know how you feel, all these different efforts, sacrifice, breakfast in bed. These are things I all did. And I was like, why is it that stuff is obsolete? And the only thing that exists to you is the time I've now come up short. That's whenever you ask me about this stuff.
It's interesting because, of course, that is an eraser.
So, I sense that he's still full of BS. He basically goes on this podcast and blame her for the reason he messed up on their vows. He blames her for bringing somebody else into their marriage. Now, fam, let's scratch the fact, when they were dating, when they were in a relationship, and he did his wrong, she did her wrong. He blames her for the vows they both committed and said at the altar, for better or worse. He said that it's been 3 months since she gave him some, right? For better or worse, Derrick. For better or worse. And it's just crazy that you would say, oh, she didn't give me none in 3 months. Basically, that's what you were saying. And you were bashing men. So now you want men to come to your defense because that's a weak factor for us. If we don't get no booty, that kind of weakens us a little bit. We're a little tempted to go out and do some things that we might not normally do. And for you to come up and say that, to try to get men on your side after you done bashed us for so many years on how a man should be. Brother, get your life right. You shouldn't have went on that you should have not went on that podcast and blamed that woman for you being a cheater, for you committing adultery, for you being not right. And then you want us, the brothers, to give you a platform back. You know what? If you went on there and said, Derrick Jaxn screwed up, Derrick Jaxn messed up, Derrick Jaxn committed vows to this woman that I so-called loved, you would have easily had your platform back. I, Derrick Jaxn, like home too. Like home. But I like other stuff too. I like hoes too. You would have easily got your platform back because it was grounded in the truth. And men would have supported you off of that. Hey, he like home. He felt weak. And he got involved in his weakness. Because let's just be honest, men and women. Ladies and gentlemen, let's be honest. Sex is a big factor for men. We need that. We need that. But to blame this woman for the reason why you brought other people into your relationship, having her look at other women's bodies to see why she wasn't good enough for you. Man, you need to get your life right. Don't look for us to come to your rescue as men to say, hey, she wasn't giving me none for 3 months. Okay. But in the first year of y'all marriage, you cheated on her. Oh, me being touchy-feely. Me being, what'd he say? Me being affectionate was a trigger for her. And her pushing away was a trigger for me. Ain't no woman on this God's green earth is gonna push away from you because you're affectionate to them. You had to already been doing wrong for you to say that when y'all got engaged, she had her uncles come up there and y'all celebrated and all this stuff was going on and it was just a big old celebration, and then you went and had lunch with a woman that you were entertaining. Speaks volume. If you dealt with somebody that you had relations with, and now she's your barber, how you not think that that was gonna cause her to have some insecurities? You filed for that. You blamed that woman for every single thing that you've done. You brought somebody into your marriage, not her. We was looking for accountability, and what we got was excuses. That's what we got. How you telling another woman she's beautiful in front of her face and expect her not to have some type of insecurity? But then you want us as men to bail you out because she haven't gave you none in about 3 months. Look, guy, she didn't give you none because you've been cheating and you never stopped. Oh, she only see when I was doing wrong. She didn't see the stuff I was doing that was right. Well, bump you bringing her breakfast in bed, bump you rubbing her back, rubbing her feet, all that ain't nothing when you walk out that door and you going to screw another woman. You committed vows. You said for better or worse. And if you just stood in your truth, if you just stood in the truth and say, hey, I like home, but I wanted hoes too. We as men would have been like, hey, you know what? We might not like what he did. We might not like how he bashed us as men in the past. But hey, at least he told the truth. And we would have backed you. But you went over on the Dear Wifey podcast. You went on the Dear Wifey podcast and made it seem like it was her fault, the reason why you cheated on her. If you was cheating before you got married and you wasn't ready to make that commitment, you could have kept cheating and not been married. And it would have been okay, because marriage is what God view as the ultimate covenant. So you blamed her for the reason why she was turning over for 3 months straight and not giving you none. For better or worse, Derrick, we don't want to hear your sorry excuse. And you know better. And the thing you would tell us is, hey, you would tell us that, hey, there's no excuse for that. But it caught up to you. You're a liar. You're a liar in that interview. We're going to call it like we see it. You can fool everybody but men. Now you want us to, hey, let's uplift him. No, we ain't going to uplift you. You can't even be honest to the reason why you cheated on this woman. The woman you said I do to. The woman you said for better or worse. Let me tell you this. It's hard for me being married. It gets rough and it gets dirty tough at times. But I choose faithfulness because of what it might do to her, what it might do to our children, and what it might do to me. Not saying that I might not one day cheat, but if I do, I want to be man enough to say, hey, it was my fault. I committed vows to this woman. I said vows to this woman. And I messed up. I was looking for accountability and responsibility, and I didn't get that out of that interview. You're trash for that. And yes, it's your fault. She didn't bring a man into the marriage. You brought plenty of women into it. So you're trash. And I'm not going to ever agree with it. Now, you might be able to fool some of these women, but ain't no man sitting up here that didn't watch you bash us for years when you was talking about yourself. Gonna be fooled by your message. The Jaxn didn't deserve, when you guys got married and said I do, what you did to her. She was enough. You created those insecurities as well as she created some in you. However, you brought an individual, a human being that was not her, that was not your kids, into your union. And you still try to make it seem like it wasn't your fault. It's your fault, brother. And you're trash. And anybody that agree with you and anybody that can see where you coming from, they trash too. I don't care how well you talk, how well you dress, how put together you are, how smooth you are, you're trash. You went on that podcast in a condescending way and dogged your wife because you couldn't stay faithful to your vows. All you had to do was say, hey, I love home, but I wanted my cake and I wanted to eat it too. I like other women too. And my wife wasn't the cause of me cheating. I was. And we could have stood with you and we could have said, you know what, brother? We don't like what you did, but you was honest. And we can trust your honesty. We can't trust nothing that comes out your mouth. You're about $1. And for you, it was multiple women. For you, your platform was having money and multiple women. You got addicted to something that you could not control. And that's all I got to say about it. Don't blame her for what you did in your marriage. Bump what you did before the marriage. Bump what she did before the marriage. We're going to say screw that. Don't blame her for what your sorry behind did in the marriage. Own up to what you did. Swallow those pills and tough it out. You have caused many women to walk away from their husbands because of the very advice you gave, but you wasn't practicing what you preach. Like Barry White said, you keep telling me this, telling me that. Practice what you preach. And you didn't do that. And that's how I feel about it. That's my take on it. The trash. Now, you guys tell me what you think about it in the comment section. But this man, Derrick Jaxn, blamed his wife for the whole marriage of why he cheated. And in my book, that's trash. Peace out.